hope so. I'm hoping you guys can hear me now. I'm hoping there is sound. So if you can let me know if you can hear me. I just restarted my computer. But I actually had a mic in before, hoping that I would give better sound, and turns out I don't have any sound. So I'm hoping this is coming through. So if anyone's there, if you can let me know, that would be fantastic. Okay, well, it's come up on my computer that I'm live. So hopefully you guys can hear me. You know what? Because my computer is so old, um, it I can't even use it now without it being plugged in. It's basically shitting itself. I'm gonna have to probably move to my PC to use the internet or doing live streams in the future, because this Mac is just breaking down. Oh good, you can hear me. Fantastic. Let's see if I just put in this mic and see if that makes any difference. Just let me know if you can't hear me. I'm hoping you can still hear me. So I've just plugged in the mic and I hope my sound is okay. Anyway, everything around me is basically good. Thank you. Hi, Sonia. Yes. Hi, Inga. Everything is basically breaking down around me, as in tech. My phone, which is so old, I have to charge it maybe. I can never not. See, I've always got the cord plugged into it because I can never not have it without the plug, because it is so old. And I might go into Instagram and it just goes flat. Like, it's just, I really don't want to buy a new iPhone. I know, I think you can get the battery replaced in this one, but it's just dying. The battery is out of order, and this Mac computer is breaking down as well, as in it cannot be used without it being plugged in. I don't have any sound coming out without external speakers. That's my fault though. I did that. What is it? 2013, 2011. It's old, so I may have to use my other PC, set up, Skype, set up all this stuff on it. But I have not used a PC in the longest time, so I'm not actually sure if I can. I'm sure I can use it, but it's not as convenient as my Mac. And that's what it's all about right now, is we are living in a very convenient world. The convenience and the accessibility is what we are as a global community right now. This is, we don't have to go anywhere to do anything. We live in a very accessible, convenient world, and as we know, there is so much going on the planet, and old systems are crumbling. New ones are trying to come in, some that are not so good for our humanity, and some that are very good. But this is how it is now, and whatever is happening, and I know there is a massive agenda playing out. And I'm going to be crude here, they have basically, these elitists have grabbed us by the balls, basically. And the way they have done that is, look at our addiction to our cell phones. Look at our addiction to using technology. And I am not saying it's a bad thing. Not at least, if you're practical about it. But I'm talking about not being able to be away from your cell phone for more than an hour. How many of you honestly can be away from this damn thing? So they have achieved this goal of having us enslaved into our phone extraordinarily. They've done it so extraordinarily well. And so, there's a huge outcry with the rollout of 5G and this tech that is going to be littering our beautiful night skies in order to roll out this 5G. And not only that, we know what's going on in the world. And before the David Icke, before um, the London Reel, before all of this, there was a couple of people that were talking about this. Dr. Arthur, no, I'm not sure if he's a doctor. Arthur Furstenberg has been hitting the 5G and any G on the head for years. There's a whole community, a global community of people that cannot live in society because they are basically so sick from the G network that that they cannot function. They cannot do regular things, and they have to live out in very isolated, more isolated than me communities. I mean, I live in a black spot, and I feel so lucky that I live in a black spot, but there are people that have to live way out where there is no network and basically cut off from society. So he has been one of the front runners, and there have been some medical doctors, and I even cited the review papers that were these experiments of the EMF effects on the body have been recorded with the Office of Naval Medical Research in the 1970s, showing how bad it is. And so for them to know how bad it is now, before then, and still pushing and pushing and pushing for this 5G, and now it's being rolled out while everyone's isolating. I mean, look, we only need to put the dots together, and I think people are doing that now. But the way to stop 5G, the most simple way to stop 5G that will solve everyone's headache about it is to stop using your cell phone. How many of you could stop using your cell phone and going back to a landline? How many honestly could do it? I don't think there would be many. So are you willing to give it up? For this 5G rollout, could you give it up? If it means the sake of your children's life, if it means, because the only way, so we're all whinging about how this is being rolled out, but we are keeping them in power. We are keeping this happening by using their devices because we feel like we cannot live without it. It is a total addiction. And I use this phone only because it's here now, but I can switch to a landline tomorrow. I'm ready. Like, I could totally do it. I could totally do it. I'm down for it. But I'm lucky right now. I don't have this 5G here. And I hope to God it never does come in my area, because if it does, immediately I will be back to landline. I'll be back. I don't care how. It wouldn't be even inconvenient for me. It would be more inconvenient for other people that are so used to using their cell phones, because they'll be like, oh, well, she's back on landline. I can't send her a text message anymore, or I can't call her on a cell phone. Why is she not answering my messages? Oh, she's got a landline. So, like, honestly, how many of you could go back to landline, back to how it used to be? So many people couldn't do it, and yet these same people are whinging about, how dangerous 5G is, and they're so worried about it. Well, do yourself your own favor and do not buy any more of their products. Do not use a cell phone. If you're really concerned about what's happening, don't use it. Because if you're using your cell phone, you are keeping them in power. You have the power to stop using this damn thing. And, so that is the way to do it. Stop using the cell phone. Maybe there will be someone that creates a different network. I don't know, like a different global network. I hope someone does, because we've put these people in power that are controlling our humanity, this small group. And I talked about this on my previous video, saying how we have kept these people in power by using their products, buying their products, because A, it's somewhat affordable, B, because everyone's connected into it, and C, because it is basically purported everywhere in the world that it is the en vogue thing to use. It's the trending thing to use. We have been sucked into this easily. We have been swayed and influenced into this from an early age with the first introduction of the cell phones. And now, how many of you could honestly live without it? Like, we have fallen into their web, basically. So the only way we can stop it is not using it and creating. And I'm a huge fan of London Real. Long before this whole David Icke thing happened. David Icke's been banned now from YouTube. Can you believe it? Whether you believe him or not, whether you're into conspiracy or not, David is not a conspiracy theorist. But those that obviously follow mainstream will believe that he is. Don't worry about the man. It's the information that he is giving. It's the same with me. People don't have to like me. It's just listen to the information. If it makes sense, if it's common practical knowledge, don't shoot the messenger. Just do your own research. I'm reading how people are thinking that London Real is now, a CIA psyop. Are you kidding? Brian Rose is legit. He is legit. And it started grassroots. It's the people that held him up and have supported him with this now, because the people are seeing the truth for what it is. Lies, lies, lies. That's what our world has been built on. And it is about damn time that it stops and we take the power back. You know what? There are some channeling sessions that are my absolute timeless classics that I can't stop listening to. And I've listened to them for years and years. And they were recorded back in 1956. Oh no. Am I still live here? It's saying YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. Open widget. What the hell does that mean? Anyway, these channeling sessions. There is a being. There's a confederation, but there is a being, and I'm not sure if Monka is the one that says it. He's from Mars. And this is, again, you think, oh my God, channeling. Everyone's a channeler these days. This was back in 1956. The audio is not good. And I feel 100% that this is absolutely authentic. And there are credible people that have been there witnessing this in person, like Wendell Stevens. And there are events that they predicted before they happened, basically confirming that everything they're saying is the absolute truth. I don't need to prove the truth of this or whatever. It's the information. But this being, one of them says, who is Kadar Manka, he is a Martian with a civilization on Mars. It could have been Sutko, who he is on what they call the Saturn Tribunal. They basically say all of this information back in 1956, and they say, humanity, you are on your knees. You have become enslaved to a sovereign power. They are saying this back in 1956, and we are still on our knees. I could not agree more with the words of what they say, and I'm always listening and referring back to it. So, and not just them, but the authentic channeled messages they all talk about. You're going to have to get your power back and live in harmony with the ways of planet Earth. And nothing could be more further from the truth. And that means dropping this technology. It is no good for us. It is no good for our planet. It is no good for any life form on this planet, and yet we are so addicted to it. We cannot let it go. We use it for everything because it's convenient. So unless there is someone that can afford to make a new network a completely separate entity from what is available now, then, we will have to digress. I don't even think it's a digression, even though it is convenient. I think we would be digressing if we continue to use it. We would be progressing should we stay away from it and spend more time out in nature, more time talking to each other face to face, more time being a human being on this planet. And so, being on the cusp of a golden age means taking back your power and creating the life that you want for yourself. But you have to do that. You can't depend on somebody else to do that for you. You have to do that. You have to sit down with yourself or your family and say, right, what are we going to do to make our situation better? What do we need to do? What do we need to do? And it's difficult right now because everything's crumbling around us. The economy will never be the same, and I said that. And I said with my global predictions, the 5-year global predictions, I mentioned how water is going to be a big issue. It's going to be a huge issue because we can't have anything without water. So, and it's not just about water, it's about learning to utilize it and use it, understanding it properly. It's so much more than just hydration. It carries consciousness. It basically carries the mathematical frequency or the mathematical sequence of how the universe works, as does every living thing. Water is a living body. In my mind, water is a living entity. Anyway, so you need to sit down and work out what you want for your life. Do you want to stay in this corrupted life of propaganda, of fear-mongering, full of, vaccinations and disease, and, it's just so corrupt. It's just not us. It's not us. It's not what we are. No matter what you believe. I mean, you may have grown up believing this your whole life, but it is not us. This conditioning has been happening forever, and I have said this for a long time. But now things are really changing. Now people are seeing it. I feel good about what I'm seeing. I'm feeling good about seeing people being resistant. And that doesn't mean being violent, but being resistant and holding their power. There are those humans that are standing up. And it's going to take someone to have to give, and I hope it's not us, because otherwise you're going to see it. It's going to be a war, and it's going to be us against them, and I don't want it to come to that. I hope those that are corrupt and have been deceiving, I hope they get put on trial. Truly, I hope they get put on trial through a just system. I don't know how just it is, but I want to believe there is still justice in our world and in our systems within our constitutions. I want to believe that. I want to believe that. But people, whether they have felt their power before or not, they are sprouting up all over the world, and people are sick and tired of the bullshit. And they are standing up. I saw that. I saw what is happening, not so much in my country here, but what I'm seeing in America. People are sick of it. And I believe that when the push comes to shove, people are going to stand their ground. And it really is going to be. It's not going to be a war between two countries, whether they use that as a mask or not. It would be a mask. It would be a charade, a masquerade. It's going to be us against them. And it goes deeper than just us against them. This is a cosmic ancient skirmish that's been going on for so many years. Us against them, meaning if you go into the research and you realize that these elitists, these somewhat human elitists, some human, some not human, our race has been enslaved by beings, by who knows who for the longest time. And it's forever been this. It's been a wild, dynamic, crazy planet, this planet Earth. And, you know, people need to understand their own sovereignty. The only person you should be worshipping is yourself and your own sovereignty and your own divinity, and recognizing the beauty and the power and the love that you really are. But Earth is a tough call. Earth is a tough place. You know, and you may have to put your gloves on and stand up. Get back up on your feet again. And not be subservient and enslaved to somebody else's way of life. Do you really think these elitists and these people are going to vaccinate themselves and chip themselves? Hell no, they're not. They are pawns to a higher faction, well, far beyond the reaches of anything happening here on the planet. And when you really go into the rabbit hole, and you can start joining the dots, and it's, you know, it's frightening, and it just seems ridiculous. It seems stranger, and it is stranger than fiction. So, you know, so what do? You take your power back. You take your power back and you stop using their devices. You go back to nature. You learn how to grow food. You learn how to harness water. You learn to become a self-sufficient human being. And that can be tough because a lot of people have no idea how to do that. And that's fine, but if you're willing to learn and willing to get closer, you know, to the earth and try to understand how you can do that, you will start to have faith in your ability to survive should the times come like that. You know, if you are willing to learn and to nurture and to understand, listen to the earth, you'll be fine. You'll be fine, and you'll be exactly where you need to be. So, you know, there's a lot coming. There's a lot coming. And I want to say it's going to get easier, but, you know, you need to put in the effort to create the life you want to see. So, you know, set yourself up, set your family up, and come back to your source. Come back to your source. You know, be a human, be a real human. You know, just do an experiment. See how long you can go throughout the day without your cell phone. I treat this cell phone now like a landline, and I'll put it somewhere in the house, and it's barely with me, and I'll come in every few hours. I'm usually outside or down in the cellar or in the workshop or whatever. I'll come in, you know, after a couple of hours. I'll check if there's any text messages or whatever, and that's it. And if my mother calls, you know, we'll talk. The phone is away from me. But if it comes to push and shove and 5G comes here, even 4G, your girl is going back to a landline. Like, I will not support this. I've never supported it. No one asked me to put these SpaceX damn satellites up in the sky. Nobody asked me. No one asked my permission. Did they ask your permission? No. They just did it. Who gave them the authority? Except for this small, tight little group of elitists. Nobody asked you. Nobody asked me. They didn't do a vote. They didn't do a consensus. They haven't done proper study. And if they have done proper study, we're not seeing it. It's not coming to the light of day. You won't find hardly any information about the dangers of 5G online. I mean, the control is real. And see, because people can't find the information, they basically put it down to, oh, it's safe enough. It's safe enough. These telecommunications companies are keeping it from you. It's all about money, it's all about control, it's all about profit. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. Anyway, you have to make your own choice. I can only give you my opinion, and you know what? You don't have to agree with me. You can make your own decision, but this is how I feel, and it's really getting real. It really is real. And so you got to do what's right by you. And I think you guys are feeling it. You really are feeling it now because you're seeing it. Like, yeah, you got to do what is right by you. And I can only give you advice and opinion, but ultimately it comes down to you and what you believe is right for yourself, your family. And you know what? You're going to probably meet resistance with your own family. And if that's the case, you have to let them go. You have to let them be, and that's their choice. I don't talk about this so much openly with people unless it's invited, as in family members or whatever, because it's shut down pretty quick. Not so much in my family, but you can't talk about it. You can't talk about it because the people will just put their backs up immediately. And well, what about this and what about that? Well, this is happening and that's happening. You just can't explain it. And when it's like that, you just have to let it go. You have to let it go. So anyway, that's where we're at right now. And I'm just saying to you to look after yourselves, look after your family. I mean, we're adults, we're good. But for those of you that have children, I mean, fucking hell. Like, you're going to have to step up. You're going to have to do something. You know, because this is their generation coming up. And I mean, if it gets to the point of mandatory vaccinations and digital chips full of certification and nanotechnology and that proper control, it can't get like that. It can't be like that. That's just, to me, that's just civil liberties taken away completely. They've already been taken away. I need a drink. So, you know what? I don't want to frighten people. I don't want people to freak out or to feel pessimistic about what I'm saying. You know, because I believe in this golden age, but we need to put in the effort to make it happen. We need to put in the effort. You have to. I'm putting the effort out in my place every day. You know, I feel so lucky that I have soil to grow things. You know, I'm straight. I'm good. I've got eggs. You know, I've got water. I feel so lucky. I feel richer than any person on the planet. I feel so lucky. And this is my foundation for creating the life I want to see. You know, and if that helps inspire for you to do the same, then I hope so. Because I have never felt more fulfilled than doing what I do now. You know, being so connected to the earth, feeling the plants talking to me, feeling the love frequency, feeling their beauty. You know, like, oh my gosh, it's just an unspeakable language, and it's so fulfilling. Nothing is more fulfilling than this for me. You know, and if you can do that for yourself, and it doesn't have to be in my way, but, you know, going back to nature and having your own relationship with her, oh, it's magic. It's magic. Very fulfilling, very soul enriching. It really is. Anyway, this was kind of impromptu, as I usually do spontaneous live streams. Checking in with you guys. Hey everyone. Hey Tara. Hola Joseph. Hi Nathan. Hi Christine. Mamacita, I missed you. You're so sweet. Kath, hi Kath from New Zealand. Hi Joey. Oh my God, is that your home? Yes, it is. I mentioned I am renovating, but I am nowhere near done. So your girl's busy. Look, I'm creating the golden age. I'm creating the world I want to see around me. And even though it's my local little environment, it's not even just about the aesthetics and how it looks. It's the energy. It's the energy it gives off. It's the energy, and that's what it is. You're creating the frequency. I don't want to live in a drab um, basic home. That is not me. I want to see beauty everywhere around me. And that means putting in effort. And that means putting in effort in the big things and the tiniest of details. To me, that is graceful living. That is how it should be lived. Life is short here, and I want to live it fully and gracefully, and I want to be surrounded in beauty. Because Earth is beautiful. And so, yes, your girl's been busy. I've been very busy. Um, and I'm slowly getting there. But it's been a job. It's been a job. Hi, T-Dub. Hi, Kath. Yes, my friend cannot live with 5G. Internet and Wi-Fi affects her severely. She can't function. Like it a little. Yes. Joseph, what are you doing? I'm looking to get a 5G phone. Oh my gosh, don't do that. Come on. Hi, Feral Gal. You've just made my day. Oh my gosh. What's behind you? That's new. Gorgeous. Love you. Yes, these are my renovations. So anyway, I'll show you a little bit more when it's all done. But it's a job. It's going to take a while. Salam. Salam alaikum. Kif halaj? Nature lover. Love you too, honey. Ahmed. Hi, Ahmed. Salam. Ahlain. Oh, thank you. Shukran. T-Dub. Wow, obviously some people don't want you to talk about this. Yeah, I'm very choppy. I've had notices coming up. Nobody can talk about this. Nobody can talk about this. I think the more people that talk about it, the better it is. Yeah, no, it's choppy. Hi, Sonia. You are an inspiration, really. Oh, thank you, Sonia. Hi, May. Love you too, girl. Hi, Crystal. I'm sorry it's chopping. It's saying it's chopping. It seems to be okay now. I don't know what's going on. Crystal says, I just spent the day laying in the sand by the lake. Enjoyed soaking up the sun, watching the seagulls fly and the waves in the water. That is so healing right there. I mean, that's what we all should be doing. Being out in nature. Christine says, stream is laggy for sure. I seem to find that everywhere though. Yeah, I wish there was another platform, but yeah, unfortunately right now, we're kind of limited. Shelley K says, my sister laughed at me. Oh. Yeah, Feral Gal says, people are afraid to see the truth. It has come down to the red pill of truth or of the blue pill of blissful ignorance. I took the red pill years ago. Yeah. Ria, good morning from the Gippsland in Australia. Must be cold where you are too, honey. Yes, being creative and in a state of love and joy actually is raising your frequency and that of the planet. Fear and negativity is what they feed off of. Yes. And not only that, I mean, fear is the absolute absence of love. It creates a separation from your source. And if you don't fear death, if you know you continue on and you are eternal, and you just forever exist, you will live so much more freely and speak so much more freely. Everyone seems to be walking around on eggshells now and not speaking what they feel or not living how they want to. And they feel trapped in their jobs. They feel they can't leave their jobs because they fear of not having money, running out of money. My God, I've been so fucking broke in times of my life. And believe me, girl is not rich now, but I feel richer than anyone on the planet because I feel I have the earth. She's allowed me to become a custodian of a couple of acres of land. I feel so rich. I got my own water. I got two water sources. I've got clean, beautiful rain water falling from the sky, and I have a spring. I have a spring, so I have a well and a little pump. And this water just is always there. It always replenishes itself, and they tapped this years ago and just put a pump there. So it's not a bore. It's a natural spring that just flows in, and the water is just so clear. I bathe in it every night, so I bathe in that earth water, and it's you could drink it. I mean, it's a little mineralized, but I mean, I use it to wash and wash my dishes, and I feel so lucky. My water has not been touched, hampered, full of damn chemicals. I just have beautiful, clean earth water, and I feel so lucky. You know, not even bottled water. When I see bottled water now, I just cringe because I feel like like these big water companies still have to put things in the water, but I don't like seeing water held in these plastic bottles. I mean, if you can recycle and use the one bottle, well then fine, but water in plastic just seems so wrong to me. It just does. But if you can have one, you know, like a hard plastic bottle and just recycle and use that, or a glass is even better. That feels better. It feels better. So yeah, I do. I feel rich, you know, and now we know how shaky money is. I think people are seeing worth um, in things other than this plastic paper stuff that we've been giving value for so long. Um, Currency is changing. The real currency of our planet is love. The real currency is truth. Truth is the currency of love. And, you know, for so long we have valued our worth based on this fucking paper system. And we judge and we value people on this system that was made by, you know, a group of you know, these people, Federal Reserve or whatever you want to call them. I don't know what you want to call them, but we have been brainwashed to believe that, you know, you're not successful unless you have a lot of this paper stuff, you know, in your bank. This is how we have valued worth. We don't value our worth on our skills. We don't value our worth on how refined our auras are, and our intelligence and our knowledge. You know, I'm not even talking about qualifications or how we deem qualifications in this world, but talking about just people that have logical, good common sense, survival skills. We don't value that, or it's not acknowledged in a university. There's no universities that teach you how to survive and to live in accordance with our planet. What kind of a university would give that? I mean, not any kind of big academic institutions. You know, if anything, they just take from us, and we again follow the system. And I know I'm in university now, and I see it for what it is, and I know I'm paying this system, but I am learning about cells. I'm learning about things that are tangible and real with molecular biology. So that's real to me. I hope that one day I can afford or borrow a microscope so I can see it for myself. But obviously, when you do this kind of work, you need to know what you're looking at. So I do need to have some kind of foundation knowledge with this. And, you know, we learn that at a university. So I'm okay to take what I need from this academic institution and then apply it to my own life. So, you know, like this money stuff that we've placed so much worth on, it's going. We're turning into an electronic world, and I've just not put value on money for a long time. Being rich or being like financially rich, monetarily rich, I mean, that's just a crock of shit. I mean, it's just so not valued to me. It really is. It doesn't make the person. You could be, money talks. That's the thing. And it doesn't matter if you're a bad person, if you have no integrity. Um, People will still gladly take your money and work with you, no matter how bad you are, for the sake of the money. And people will compromise their integrity, their dignity, their pride just for a quick buck or a lot of bucks. And I mean that's that's just not good. That's not good. So yes, I feel rich out here. I feel so rich. Mother Earth, like I said in my last video, I feel her pulse every day. I feel so lucky we've had so much rain and the luxury of not having to water all my plants by hand. Oh my gosh, what a dream. And I've luckily trusted the intuition. And for the last few weeks I've been going mad planting so much stuff. It's all in the ground now, and I got it in just before the rain hit, like the day before. And now I can just sit back and relax and watch my flowers grow, watch my fruit trees grow for a little while without having to water or do anything. I can now focus my attention back on my house and renovations and stuff like that, playing with the chooks. So, oh my gosh, guys. Whoops, what have I done here? Hi, Lim. Oh, thanks. Sonia, love you too. Sonia's in Texas. Tara says, I'm highly ticked off about how they are censoring everything now. I will be seeking a YouTube alternative. They crossed the line of free speech. They only want the voice of the elite to be heard. Yeah. But people are still believing it. I don't know where this comes from. These people that are so hell-bent on following mainstream, how can they not see that things just don't make sense? Like the conditioning is real, and the faith and the belief that they put in these people and these corporations, I just think, what's wrong with them? How can they not see it? How can they not see it? Do they not want to see it? Or are they just too comfortable to make that change? I mean, obviously, and again, money talks. People are happy to compromise and stay comfortable with their nice fat little paycheck than to speak up. I know there was a doctor, and I applaud her. She was on the, oh gosh, I watched it. Can't remember the channel's name, but he's good. Is it called the News Network? Anyway, she goes on to say how Dr. Fauci basically threatened her to give her some papers that were not published yet about the HIV virus, and she refused to give them to her. This was years ago, and she refused to give them to him. Sorry, yes, she refused to give them to Dr. Fauci, and he ended up delaying treatment for the AIDS virus all those years ago. So more people were basically dying. So what he did was, when she wasn't there, I think she was on leave or something, she wasn't in the office or the lab or whatever, he called another doctor, a more impressionable doctor, and basically threatened and forced this doctor to give the papers. And so this other doctor gave the HIV or the AIDS papers, and then basically withheld this information. So this was years ago. I mean, there are some real fucked up evil people running the show right now, but I'm hoping people are seeing it for what it is, and we need to step up and be the better example. Shame on these people that we have put them there. We've put them there by buying their products. We've put them there by listening to their words, believing, and it's not the people's fault. People are trusting that they are getting the truth, and and that's no fault on theirs. It's just that they are giving their faith and trusting that they are getting the truth, and they're fucking not. And that's the letdown. And people will still say, oh, this is the truth. This is the truth. It must be. It's on mainstream media. Why would they lie to us? Come on. They've been lying to us forever. And so, I just, it takes somebody else to step in and just present a different alternative. And now we can see that's all being shut down. Shut down like shit everywhere. So, I was shut down. Mid last year, my whole damn channel gone. Overnight. I have not heard one thing back. And after I did hear back, eventually they're telling me it was a copyright claim. And I provided evidence showing no, it wasn't. And I never heard back. So when I hear Brian Rose, when I see this London Real thing and see that playing out, it happened exactly like that. Basically, everything was just taken down with no notice, no strikes, no warnings. Happened with David Icke overnight. No warnings, no strikes, no nothing. Just fucking gone. So, and I wasn't even, are you kidding? I had 50,000 subscribers. I was small fry. I was a little channel. And I don't understand what was said, or all I can think about what it was the Tony Rodriguez interviews. And I put them straight back up. Thanks to my knight in shining armor, she knows who she is, that had basically downloaded every single video I ever made. And now that we've slowly put them up again, just for people to watch and to view. If it wasn't for her, I'd be fucked. I'd have, I wouldn't even have a quarter, not even a tenth of my videos, because, at the time I was traveling, and it was years ago. Some of those videos are like 9 years old, and I just didn't have the memory, or even back then the organization, to chronologically order all these videos, because I was traveling, I was on the road, I was, where was I? I was on the side of the road at midnight in Uzbekistan with a damn machete, got 3 flat tires. I was on the borders of Baluchistan and Afghanistan. I was in Turkey, going around a slippery, icy lake. I got robbed in Moscow. The bus broke down in the deep jungles of Vietnam. Your girl was living, so I was not ordering or organizing videos or anything. Oh my gosh. I was living. I was just in the moment. And I just was not chronologically ordering or organizing any videos. And I'd upload and then just let it go. And really not having any idea that I would ever have I even hate the word saying following, but, like having a channel that would ever have, almost 50,000 subscribers. I never thought it would ever. I just uploaded. Gave some, background of me and the practice of what I live by in my life, and and then just basically giving insights. And it's always been very organic, very much being grassroots. And me, I have no filter. What you see is what you get. And I can't live any other way, though. Listen to this, Chuck. I can't live any other way. And love it or hate it, it is what it is. I can't apologize for being honest and giving my opinion. And that's the problem now, is that we can't give our opinions without stepping on eggshells, and I believe there is truly a way of saying it right, but sometimes just saying it how it is exactly how it needs to be said. And I don't think I'm unreasonable with um, perspectives or if I was making a judgment on something, I feel I'm pretty reasonable. But if I'm pissed off, you're gonna know about it. Or if someone fucks me over, you're gonna know about it, and I'm gonna call it how it is. I mean, did you guys see the Hollywood Diaries, the Boxer and the Beast? I mean, I will call it how it is, and you know, uh, this is just how I live, and I don't know. I just say it how it is. I'm a truth seeker. I live authentically, and authentically doesn't necessarily mean being polite. You know, anyway, I don't need to justify it, but it is what it is, and it was just my experience. This is my experience, and I think you guys know that. And yeah, who wants fakeness? There's a lot of it, plenty of fakeness around, and scripted videos and scripted, um, dialogue. Girl, I have never been like that. I can't live like that. So anyway, people either love me or hate me, and believe me, I've had my haters on here over the years. Um, I can't live any other way, and I'm sure there's a lot of you that feel the same way. Life is short for fake and phony and bullshit, and I've got to say it how it is. And yeah. And if people think I'm any other way, then they don't understand me. Like if they think I'm this, because believe me, I see the emails and people saying, "Oh, you're like a guru." I'm like, "No, I'm not. Don't ever say that. I am just a regular woman of earth, but I choose to live in accordance with the ways of planet Earth. And if you say that about me, you don't understand me, because I will say it how it is, and it's not necessarily polite or graceful, but like I said, sometimes life forces you to say things how it is without pussyfooting around or, kind of jumping around the hot ashes or the hot coals. Sometimes you just have to pull out the sword and just stick it straight through the heart, and I'll be like that to the day I die. Life is short, life is precious, and I live intensely. I live hard. I love hard. Um, I can't live any other way. So love it or hate it, that's your girl. Oh, me talking about water in plastic. At least this is hard plastic. Look, this is so old. You guys must have seen this bottle in my videos for years. I did have a glass one, but I broke it. I may have another one, another glass one. Yes, Ria says last 2 days were very cold. Love rainwater. Yeah, girl, I feel you. Feral Gal says my water has chromium 6, chlorine, and fluoride in it, along with other. Yuck. I got a filter from my shower. Good for you. Crystal says I use a steel container to drink water from. Glass is probably better. Hey Goddess TV, all the way in Kenya. Hi Jade. Revelation, revealing, disclosing the truth. Yeah. Feral Gal says this reminds me of the people getting on the trains going to the German concentration camps, believing the BS they were told. Oh, it's frightening. Hi Max, just checking in, hoping you're in good spirits. Honey, I'm perfectly well, perfectly at peace. All is how it should be. Joey says, I'm planning on going to Kazakhstan after this whole pandemic is over. Have you ever been there, Andulairah? Are you kidding? Your girl has been right through the guts of Kazakhstan, and actually on the border of Kazakhstan and China. I almost got dragged off the train. I got a story about that on my blog at Andulairah.com, and the only way I got out of that was the train conductor, or like the train driver. He bribed the Chinese military with a box of vodka. So this is why I wasn't documenting and organizing all my videos, because girl was dealing with the Chinese military at the Kazakhstani border. So yes, I've been all through Kazakhstan, and I actually think I've got some videos of me on this new channel in Kazakhstan. Actually, I did do one in Kazakhstan, and it's called Is the Earth Hollow? So yes, I did that video in Kazakhstan. Farrell says, my new next door neighbor is into pantheism and sharing that with me. She's also a good witch. She's so sweet and kind. A fellow empath. Very good. How can I scroll down? I don't know why I'm not being able to scroll a little more. Hold on, let me press the arrow. Whoops. Hi Naomi. Hi Naomi from New York. Goddess TV says, what might be a good grounding ritual or technique for me if I feel a bit off? Girl, get out in nature. If you're in the city, go to the ocean or go somewhere out in nature. Take your shoes off and just plant them there. Turn your phone off. Take some water and just chill. Just chill and let Mother Earth heal you. Let Mother Earth talk to you. Just have some one-on-one with yourself and Mother Earth, and you'll see, you'll feel good. But this is what I mean. You don't have to do a big fancy ritual or anything to rebalance. Just go out in nature. She is the perfect balancer. And oh gosh, I couldn't imagine being in the city for longer than, I mean, when I had to go to the East Coast last year, I was lucky that most of the places I chose to stay were out of the city, but the times I did have to stay in, oh wow. Like, actually, I don't know if you saw the video that I made, the Hollywood Diaries, the first one, the Tupac experience. I actually reconnected with an old flame. I talk about him in that video. He, he's a homeboy from South Central LA. We talked on the phone last week. I said to him, I joked with him coming. He's from Crenshaw. I joked with him coming to stay here for a couple weeks. He's just like, hell no. He's like, I could not bear the silence of where you are. Isn't that funny? He said he needs noise. He could not bear the silence of being out here. Like, he would find it fearful. Isn't that crazy? And that's what I mean. Like, some people just, that's all they know is the city and noise and constant noise. Out here, when I lie in bed here at night, you do not hear a thing. I mean, wind, you might hear a fox, you might hear an owl. I've got a little pet owl that does a little, oh my God, it's the cutest thing. This little croaky kind of purr. You might hear some cats hissing. That's it. It is dead quiet out here. Nothing. Actually, though, the other week when I was in my workshop, you do know that I heard some running. There's a lot of spirit out here. There's a lot of things and energies out here that are unexplainable. But for the most part, it's quiet, very quiet, silent. It's been raining for the last few nights, and it is just beautiful. And I told him, I said, look, you'll have a week out here and you'll be used to being in the silence. But he doesn't think so. He thinks he won't be able to cope with the silence. And there's a lot of you guys that have never been out of the city, and how would you be? I mean, the silence is deafening. I know it sounds crazy, but the silence really is, it can be deafening. I know when I came back from living in Dubai in the Middle East and being in that city environment, to come back here, especially up into the desert, and not hear a sound, it was very confronting. And I'm from the desert, and it just showed me how use of city life I had got living over there. Gosh, so weird talking about it. Hello. That's a Russian name. I can't pronounce it. Angelina. Feral Gal said, is that the wall that had the chalkboard on it? Yes, it is, honey. I've been busy. Good. Goddess says, at least I don't live in the city. I go for a nature walk tomorrow. Thank you. You're welcome. So listen, I think I'm going to kind of wrap up. I've been on here talking for a while, but basically on the cusp of the golden age. What are you going to do? Who are you going to listen to bring it in for yourself? You don't have to live somebody else's way. Taking back your own power, and it is sovereign, it is divine. For too long we have been putting others up on a pedestal due to these old conditioning royal lines, due to money, due to power. Money creates power. Money creates control. And we put these people that are rich financially on these pedestals, and they become, somebody else. We look up to them. No way. Just because they have money doesn't mean they're a good person. And so recognizing your own richness, your own divinity. And I want to live in the golden age. I'm moving into the golden age. Are you with me or you're not? Are you going to live to their conformities and their realities? Or are you going to take your life back into your own hands and create the life you want to live for yourself? And it can be the smallest changes. Small changes every day. Small little things. One could be turning off your TV, or turning off the news channel that perhaps you are used to watching. Turn it off. It could be going out and planting a small little garden. It could be putting a plant in a pot. It could be waking up in the morning and greeting the sun and saying, thank you for giving us life one more time. Small things. Living in a golden age means, I don't want to say it's a pagan way, because it's not a pagan way. It's so, I would say, paganism though it's such a nature-based earth way of life, and honoring the elements and honoring the planet. It's just been categorized in a pagan type way. Goodness gracious. It's one of the wild birds. So, just living in accordance with the earth, giving thanks, creating a golden age means living in harmony with the planet. And living in harmony with the planet means not introducing these devices or things that would harm the planet, harm her creatures, us included. So if you want to live in the golden age, we're going to have to make another network. A more natural network, something that's more beautiful, something that's more conducive and in harmony with our planet. None of this bullshit chip technology, vaccinations full of mercury, nanotechnology, and having chips to control us that are embedded under our skin. That is not the golden age. That is total global enslavement. So you got one, you got the other. What is your choice, human of earth? I love you. May you always be blessed by the supreme truth and love of the cosmos. Know what you are. I love you guys.